We're going to have two different sessions today. We're going to have this one right now, and then half an hour right before the NFP starts, the other session will begin, and that one will run for an hour. Just during the NFP, we're going to talk about a couple of things and just look for a couple of entries and try to find something. Try to find any kind of position that might be opened, or at least learn something from this specific NFP. But we'll talk about that then. Today, the main market mover, as you all know, is the non-farm payrolls. And the focus is clearly going to be staying on the April report. Now, I'm going to talk about fundamentals just very quickly, so I can brief everybody up on what's going on and what they should be, what you need to know about this NFP. The labor market in the US is one of the brightest spots of the US economy right now. And in the April statement, the Fed clearly recognized this factor. Even though the labor market is strengthening, and it did strengthen in Q1 of 2016, the GDP is providing weak growths. Okay, so right now, people are looking, we are looking for non-farm payrolls to be in line with the recent trend, but there is some downside risk after April's ADP employment came out at the weakest point since 2013. The ADP obviously is not always the best indicator for the non-farm payrolls, and job growth all around the world can actually fluctuate a lot month to month. Nevertheless, a confirmation of the weakness is something that would worry the Fed in our professional view. If employment, however, continues to rise at a solid pace, we believe that the Fed has, basically, the Fed has its eyes on things other than just employment growth. They're not even looking at that much. Basically, what the Fed is looking at right now, and if you read the statements, is inflation. So, what are we looking at today that can give us information on inflation? It will be the average hourly earnings. That's expected to be decent today. Obviously, the employment will have a big importance on this. But like I said, average hourly earnings expected to come out exactly as the previous at 0.3. And that actually has a bigger importance on inflation than anything else that's coming out today. Now, if any of you have been watching the economic data, you would have realized that there were a couple of speeches this week from Fed members. Now, 4 of these Fed members said that the door is open to a hike in June. Bullard, Williams, Kaplan, and Lockhart all gave the same positive remarks that the Fed might, and I use the word might because that's what they use, might hike at the end of June, which is the FOMC meeting then. But this all depends on the incoming data. Now, Lockhart and Kaplan also said that the Fed should pay attention to the Brexit vote. Now, in our view, the Fed will wait with hiking until the FOMC meeting, and I've said this before, in September, which would give it more time to judge real data and not rush into anything. But it will also be past the UK-EU referendum. So I don't think the Fed's going to rush into anything, especially with this very important event coming up. But here's facts. This is not my guessing or anybody else's. I'm talking about facts right now. A hike in June is actually priced with a probability of just about 10%, which is down from 20% 1 month ago. While a hike for September is priced at 40%. Okay? This is everyone together. So that's facts. Now, I'm just going to go to Euro dollar over here and just go over this quickly. Euro USD continue to head a little lower yesterday. And this is yesterday's candle over here. But like I told you today in that email, before the NFP, we're expecting the dollar to be weaker. And I've sent this out, and we already have GBP USD heading a little, GBP USD heading higher, USD CAD already on the low side, Euro USD on the high side, USD JPY on the low side. And this is actually a good sell. I did take this position, not on this account, but because obviously it's an excellent retracement, but I'll talk about this in a bit. So Euro USD continues lower, was lower. Right now we're going back up from the 114 area, which was just touched yesterday. And as you see, price did close yesterday just above, look at that, just above 114. We reopened there, went a little down, and now we're going back up. And we can probably, again, like I said in the email yesterday, we will see the dollar be weaker before the NFP. Now, in our view, the Fed is too dovish. It's priced in too dovish, while the ECB is fairly priced. Now, this could cap euro strength in the coming months due to the Brexit and everything else. But I'm telling you right now that at least for today, I believe that this is going to go higher, and then the NFP, I don't want to guess. There is something that you need to know about JPY, and that's there were very dovish comments from the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, which yesterday he actually said that there is an abrupt change in the currency, which is undesirable for them. He's saying that the exchange rate must stabilize. Now, USD JPY is obviously trading around the 107 mark, which is clearly strengthening. The JPY is strengthening against the US, and that strengthening is about 12% this year already. That's pretty strong. Asian stocks are already lower this morning and are pretty much on track for the largest weekly decline since February. Big stuff. And to end the fundamental side of the news, I'm just going to quickly talk to you about oil. Brent is down below $45 a barrel. Here it is. This morning, and basically we are just coming off the highest high since last year in November. So that could be a point where Brent could start heading lower, but I'm not even going to go into that. Does anybody have any questions for me before I continue with our lesson? Okay, look, well, I'm going to continue, and then if there are any questions, I will just stop once I'm finished. So, today. Today is a very important day. Today is the kind of day that more accounts are busted and lost than most other days. So, if today you treat risk management as a part-time job, I promise you, tomorrow, there are excellent chances that you yourself will be looking for a new job. You see, risk management is a full-time job, especially on these kind of days. If any of you have positions open, will open positions, or anything else, focus on risk management more today than any other day. I'm going to be moving into today's lesson. And today I want to talk to you a little bit more about you and your mindset, your attitude. So having the right attitude is going to be the difference between you using everything we're teaching you here and making money and being consistent and so forth, and using basically the difference between doing that and using nothing of what is taught and losing your time and in return obviously your money. So having confidence is essential in whatever you do. And I'm not talking about arrogance here. I'm talking about confidence. And where does confidence come from? Correct. It comes from knowing what you're doing. That's how you get confidence. You know what the hell you're doing. You know what you're thinking about. You know absolutely everything about the specific business you're in. That's when you can be confident. If you don't know anything and you try to show confidence, believe me, that's not confidence, that's arrogance. And arrogance will give you insecurities within you, and those insecurities will destroy you in this market. This market has a bigger nose than Tony Montana. It's gonna smell you. It's gonna bring you out, and it's gonna see that you have insecurities within you, and it's gonna just eat you up. While real confidence will take you to levels very few have attained. Now, an interesting thing happens when you start to gain clarity. Your confidence begins to follow. If you don't have confidence, you will always find a way to lose. You will literally push yourself to lose. Now, everything you accomplish will be based on confidence. It all starts within you. And you have in yourself the ability to make this happen, but you also have the ability to destroy yourself. I spoke about goals yesterday, and today I want to just brush up on goals. The bigger goals you have, the bigger challenges you will have. You want to turn this into a full-time job where you're making an income, where you can buy a house, where you can buy a car, where you can live like a king. The bigger that goal is, the bigger those challenges are. Now, you must realize that the moment you decide to go after those goals and you start going after them, guess who's going to show up? Obstacles. Obstacles will show up because God or whoever is here has put them here to test your character and your faith to see if you really are serious about those goals. That's why the person with the most confidence will always win. Again, I said confidence comes from knowing what you're doing. Now, when you get clear on the actions that are needed to basically start successful trading and investing, you're going to feel that your motivation levels and energy levels will start to rise because you know what you need to do. Now, in this market, the only security you can have is confidence in yourself, your system, and your ability to make things happen. If you don't believe you can't do it, I promise you, you won't. So any kind of insecurity that you might have in yourself, tell me about it. Talk to me about it. I'll find a way to help you. Believe me, I've helped many people with different problems, challenges, etc. And I can find a way to help you. If you believe that you're breaking rules and you think that's a big insecurity towards you, it's worrying you that you're doing that, let's talk about it. I told you yesterday I'll find a way to make you follow them. Now, having guidance, and I'm not going to talk too much today. It's just going to be another 10 minutes maximum. Having guidance is probably the best way you can grow, regardless of what you're doing. Just like becoming a doctor or any other profession, you need somebody to show you, somebody who's done it already, to show you what to do, to be there, to guide you, to teach you, to tell you how things are. The better that person, the easier it will be for you. So basically what I'm saying is that there comes a point in our lives when we realize who really matters, who never did, and who always will. When I say this, I don't only mean it in a personal way, I mean it more in a sense of the professional way. Yesterday I gave you a very fair warning of the different people in this market, and today I want to teach you how to make the most of what and who you learn from. Now, once you get clear on who you are and what you want to be, basically have definite goals, you must look at who you're with, who's there by your side. Who are you learning from and who wants the best for you? Because, and you're going to understand pretty soon what I mean by this, because who you associate with is who you become. If you sit around with, I'll talk about this one. So the term role model is not used enough in this market. To me, it is extremely important to have role models and mentors in the investment world. Because these kind of people will actually raise your standards, your knowledge, your self-esteem, and all the other important parts of who you are. If that person, he or she, can't or doesn't do that, then don't waste your time. So if I'm not doing that to you, don't waste your time. The reason why I'm saying this is that having a great role model or mentor is really important. The reason it's important is because that the mentor or role model should already be playing this game at a much higher level, but for real, okay? This is how he or she will be able to guide and grow you. Limit your mistakes and maximize your returns. The idea of what I'm trying to say here is this. If you spend time with or hang around with 5 idiots, guess who's going to be the 6th? You're going to be the 6th idiot. If you hang around with 5 confident people, you're going to be the 6th confident person. If you hang around with 5 smart, profitable traders and investors, eventually you will be the 6th. If you hang around with 5 millionaires, you will be the 6th. Just like if you hang around with 5 broke people, you're going to end up being broke yourself. It's inevitable. We become who we spend the most time with. Now, this is such a simple concept, but what a huge difference it can make to your performance, mindset, and even personality is out of this world. There is no faster way to advance to the top of the pyramid of success than this. This can be used for your professional career, personal relationships, growth, just like it can be used in the financial markets. Most people don't do this. Don't be most people. I'm going to continue now with the financial markets. Before I go into that, do any of you have any questions? And Patty, good morning to you. I'm really happy to see you here. I guess it's like what, 3 a.m. over there? Or 4? Must be early. "4:30 in the morning." Very good, Fabi. I'm really happy to see you. We're gonna have another session. I sent you the link for the NFP. Who did not receive it, I'm going to send it to you right now, everyone. Just give me a moment. There you go. You all have it now. So, do you have any questions? Is there anything we could analyze right now? Because I didn't have time to prepare for this too much because I had to go really early to the doctor to take out a lot of blood because I'm doing a few different tests. Any questions? Any ideas? Any concerns? Well, I guess everybody's sleeping today, so we are gonna keep this session short. I just wanted to speak about the fundamentals of the NFP and get everybody acquainted with what is important today. Like I said, hourly earnings is really important. Don't look at what's it called? Don't look at the ADP so much. Don't look at the ADP so much. The NFP is very different from it. Curie, yes, I know about that, and I've already sent an email to the developers. You're talking about just a sec. You're talking about this, yeah? They removed it because I know they removed yes. They removed it because they actually they changed it, and I think they made a big mistake. And then I emailed them about it, and now they removed it. I guess until they fix it. It should be fixed soon. I mean, all C-Trader brokers don't have it anymore. I was really upset when they removed it because I really like that feature. It's gonna be fixed. Yeah, I know it is. It's going to be back. You're going to be able to see it in this section of C Trader. So it's going to be there. Pavi, Euro USD, you're still on the sell, right? Yeah, you are on the sell. No, I know, Richard, it can be used, but they're going to bring it back how it was. That's what I'm saying. Well, Pavi, look. Pavi's asking about the Euro USD. She actually has a trade that she opened a few days ago, and she's up about 60 pips. Like I said, just a moment. I'm just having a small yawn session. You see, we did pretty much just touch the 50% level of the 150 and this one over here. So it did act as a resistance right there, and it could be acting as an A, B, C. And if it's correct, what I believe it is acting as an ABC point, because you can see it work with the moving average here, and then we can see it with the 150% level on the top here, because we use the medium, we use these two levels here, and it clearly worked for us. There is excellent chances that this will continue going up. And I've actually stated this yesterday, I think, as well. So there you go. It does. I do believe that it will keep going up, especially that our moving averages are heading higher. And I did tell you that I'm expecting, and even a very long time ago, I actually told you all that Euro USD will be going higher. And I think we were like at 110, I think, something like this. So they will join in with the purple moving average. Even if today is good for the dollar, I think that those gains will be limited because the employment figures are not so important right now. What's important, like I said, is inflation. And inflation hasn't been rising for a long time, and they've been preaching how it should and it will and blah, 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 but it never happened. Just excuse me, I forgot to drink my pills, so I need to just grab my pills. But Pavi, all in all, I believe that Euro USD will head higher, even today. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not telling anybody to risk much on this. If you are risking something on the NFP, like I said, risk management is very important today, and you should really focus on keeping that as your priority job. The entry is pretty simple. I mean, you could enter somewhere here because you don't have to re-enter your positions or reopen new ones. I'm just telling you that I can see this pair go higher today. I can see it. I can also see this go higher today. Because if we do the same thing, you'll realize that we'll be pretty close to our points. And here we go. Let's do that together right now. Monthly, let's go to daily. Again, it's not that close, but we can use, well, it is close, but we can use the moving average as our stop. And if I join in these two again, then we're going to be even closer to our point. And here we go. As you see, these two levels worked well for us. Come on. Okay, there we go. So as you see, price did stop over here. We can use this as well as an ABC model because you can see price stopping right at this level, okay, which is even there from the red one, the red level. So I'm just going to move this out of the way just to show you it's a 25% level. And then we'll put this in here. And then we see price stagnating there. So again, ABC, we can see this go higher. We can also see price fluctuating over this area here. But let's just focus on GBP USD and Euro USD. Okay, Pavi, you've secured 50 pips. So what are you now? You're about 60 pips green? $70 pips green. You see, that's an excellent trade. Securing 50 pips is fine on this. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Technicals are sometimes wrong, but like I said, we have an excellent chance well, like I said, buy GBP USD, buy Euro USD. They both look good. I'm going to be cutting this session pretty short. I've given you the fundamentals for today. I've explained to you just a little bit about mindsets and mentorships and things like this. Giving you 2 trades out, and I'm going to be leaving you right now so I can prepare for the other session, which will be in a couple of hours, about an hour. No, yeah, in a couple of hours. So Patty, you can go back to sleep, and we'll answer Kira's question. And if anybody else has any questions, I have the time to sit and talk to you about it now. So just shoot, don't worry. Kira is asking, what level is GBP expected to go to? GBP USD cable. Well, it's expected to break this level here. With the momentum going from here, you see from this area to that area, we can see something similar. We can see GBP USD head to the next level, which would be the 49 level. And you can see that the 49 level is the 50% of this level and that level, or roughly the area of it. You see, it's pretty close to it. So you can see that happen there. If the figures are bad for the US, and if especially if the what's it called, the hourly earnings drop, and the NFP comes out worse, but the technicals are supporting upside. If fundamentals continue with that, we can see GBP USD head well, not 400 pips, but it will definitely go about. Okay, let me put it for you like this. I'm just going to add you levels that you can expect it to go. First level would be where last time it stopped, because there is still a lot of time till that. If price, my goodness, okay, if price breaks higher, then the first stop would be this area here. Okay, second stop would be 149, and once 149 is broken, we're looking at 150. If that doesn't happen, well, then you're looking at 142. I actually do have a couple of more things to say, and that's let's say about stop losses. When you are all adding stop losses, I want you to take this into account, but this will be implemented into the new rules the new explanations of the rules. But I just want to tell you this today. The way I want you to place your stop is by placing your stops at points that if reached, okay, if these points are reached, will reasonably indicate that your trade idea was wrong. I want you to stop doing it at points of that are predeterminedly set by amounts of dollar value that you can lose. So what I mean by that is, I want you to look at specific areas in the markets. For example, if you're going buy over here, where are you going to put your stop? So if you're opening 1, 2, 3 different positions, I don't want you to use the same risk management on everything. For example, these two indicate excellent technical setups for buy, okay? But what would indicate us, what would make us change our idea and say that this is probably a sell and we were wrong? Well, I would say that if the first level, which would be this, the white moving average, gets broken, which should be somewhere, let's say from current price, somewhere here. So let's say 100 pips away, somewhere there. That's what your stop loss would be. So if you're targeting a stop, well, you see, and then what I'm trying to tell you here is this. If that's 100 pips and you have 10,000 in your account, you see estimated stop loss at 2% risk is 0. 42 pips is 0.5, so we go down. 70, that means we're going to have to open 0.1. Nope, we're going to go a bit higher. 0.2, there we go. So that's our position, 0.2. GBP USD, 0.2. Buy. That will allow us to lose $210 and try gain much more. Euro USD, we look at that and we would say from current price, well, something similar. Just the 50% level between these two levels, we can do that roughly around, again, roughly around 100 pips. We can even go a bit lower, let's say 90. So we do that. That would allow us to go 0.25, 84 pips. 0.22, 95. 0.22 would be our position here. We can also always lower our risk. You see, we can always lower our risk and then lower our position. You don't have to always use that kind of risk. You can also go 0.5, 0.5. And then you would actually have to go a much smaller position. But this is what I would recommend to you. You see, most rookies, and I've said this before, but most rookies trade 5 to 10 times too big. They risk 5 to 10% on a single trade idea, when in reality they should not be risking more than 1%. See, to be a successful trader, you require a mindset. That mindset needs to have courage. You need to have the courage to try, to fail, to succeed, and it takes courage to keep on going when the going gets tough. You've heard this before. Now, what I'm telling you right now is that you do need courage. You need to keep your risks small, manageable, not large and catastrophic. Keep your risks small. But when those setups come in and you say, this one's it, I've made a profit, and now I can increase my risk a little bit more. And there you go. You increase your risk a little bit, increase your position size a little bit, and you give it a try. You have a profit of $400. You want to risk a little bit of it, which is 158, to try and increase that profit. You lose, doesn't matter, that's fine. We go back to basics. Go back to basics. And then you come back. You know, I told you one important rule yesterday, and that is that you need to hold on to your winners and cut your losses. Okay, cut your losers. Both of these are equally important, because if you don't stay with your winners, you're not going to be able to pay for your losers. So one thing that I want to just leave you guys here with is today is basically aggressive market moving day. That means that there's going to be information that's going to move the market aggressively in one direction or even in both. It might go up and then down and then back up, or then down and then up, or up, down, it might just go wild. So to be successful trading aggressive market moving information, you need to require study. You need to basically study human nature. But I'll explain this in a later session, but at the same time, you need to have the ability to do the opposite of what the general public is doing. So I'm telling you this. If when we come to the Brexit vote, and mark my words, once we come to the Brexit vote, and if out is ahead, percentage-wise speaking, and everybody's telling you it's out and the GBP is going down, 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 I bet you anything when that news comes out, it's going to skyrocket high and it's going to wipe out every single bearish person that was saying that the GBP will get destroyed and go to parity with the euro or the dollar. So when trading the news, it's sometimes harder to understand economic data like NFP and things like this, because there's so much to take into account. It will be practically impossible for you to count it. What you could count is something in the future by looking at the past, understanding the past. Look at human nature, and what humans want to do, just do the opposite. Technical analysis has always helped with that. That's it for me. Do you have any questions for me before I go? No, don't say sorry, Craig. Don't say sorry that you're. It's fine. It's gonna be recorded for you anyway. Peter, my friend, good night. If I don't see you at the session for the NFP, I'll see you tomorrow. I'll see you next week. So basically, like I said, we're going to have another session 30 minutes before the NFP. If you can make it, see you then. If you can't make it, well, then I wish you and your loved ones a very prosperous and productive weekend. See you at that time, Kato. I might give you a call a little sooner. Pavi, rest well a little bit more. Euro USD is going higher, so I'm sure you're happy there, and it's going to continue going higher. And so will GBP USD, my professional and personal opinion. All the best to you all, and see you around 1.